back to D&D Beyond, and you know what? There is kind of a lot going on. First of all, D&D Direct is today, and we've just learned Spelljammer confirmed?
Are you excited?
A lot more about that coming our way, but also our spring sale is live, which is 20% off all books and premium dice, including the brand new Call of the Corrupted set. And the reason we three are here today, the Monstrous Compendium Volume 1 Spelljammer Creatures. It's live and available to everyone on D&D Beyond. 10 exclusive monsters, a mix of new and classic monsters making their first appearance in D&D 5th edition, and you can start playing with them right now. Joe, what is the Monstrous Compendium?
Okay, this is really cool. Obviously, you know, the Monstrous Stuart, excuse me, I gotta work. So Monstrous Compendium, a very cool throwback to D&D of yore. But this Monstrous Compendium, Spelljammer Creatures, is a mix of 10 monsters, 5 brand new, all new, and then 5 that are like throwback, you know, like Spelljammer, back in the day classics. And they're exclusive. None of these are in the upcoming Spelljammer books. They're only in the Monstrous Compendium, and they're delicious.
Michael, who gets this? Who can have access to this?
Everyone, your favorite uncle, your best friend, this wonderful person, Joe Starr, whom I've never met before. I get it. You get it. Everybody gets it.
And how much does it cost?
I believe the cost is nothing.
100 nothing.
You can get it right now on D&D Beyond or with an account over on the Wizards website, but you can start looking at those monsters right this second, although you shouldn't because you got to hang out with us because we got to talk about it because we got more to go through it. Like, say, what's in it? Inside the Monstrous Compendium Volume 1, Spelljammer Creatures, you're going to meet the asteroid spider, a gargantuan monstrosity that lives in space and feeds on the crews of spelljamming ships. Sounds nice. A clockwork horror. A small construct of insectile design that seeks to build others of its kind. An eldritch lich. A medium undead spellcaster linked to a great old one. A fractine. A large construct that traps other creatures in a demi-planar prison and can shatter into smaller versions of itself. A gadabout. These are 1/8 CR, and they're the cutest. Medium plant that facilitates safe travel in the airless void of wild space. Goon balloon. Medium aberration that resembles a balloon with claws and has a nasty disposition.
It's so bizarre.
A nightmare beast. A gargantuan monstrosity with a disintegrating gaze.
Which, as vicious as that art is, the goon balloon is still so much scarier, which is kind of amazing.
What does it do?
I am team try to adopt a goon balloon. It's going to go badly, but we're going to try. But next up, we got a nightmare beast. Nope, that's the one I just read. Y'all, I'm very excited. We got a puppeteer parasite. A tiny aberration that latches onto other creatures and either feeds on them or psionically controls them. We have a star lancer, a large celestial from the astral plane that can turn invisible and serve as a mount.
Yeah, that's definitely like the first thing I'm going to do the second I play Spelljammer.
Yes,
find
100%.
me one of these mounts.
Yep. And spoilers, this might be my fave. The Yggdrasti, which is a gargantuan plant that travels through space in search of prey.
I like a good space tree.
I am so excited about these incredibly cool, gorgeous, scary, fun monsters and all the possibilities they're going to add to literally anyone's game because you can just grab them right now and plug them in wherever you want. No one can stop you. But before we pick favorites, Michael, what else is coming? I have Monstrous Compendium Volume 1.
Well, as the name suggests, where there's a volume 1, there's potentially a volume 2, I suppose. There's going to be more
Unless you're a
of
Dark
these.
Universe movie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But there are going to be more volumes of this sort coming, which is just fantastic. You're going to be able to build a great collection for your D&D library, and I'm so excited for everything that's to come.
So stay tuned for more on that. But let's play favorites. I would love to know, Michael, what is your favorite monster from the Monstrous Compendium that we're about to meet?
So my favorite's actually the first one that you mentioned, the asteroid spider. An asteroid spider is a menace, native to wild space and the astral sea. A full-grown specimen has a body 30 feet in diameter and legs that are at least 30 feet long. If you're keeping track, that's a lot of feet. When it wraps its legs tightly around its body and closes its eyes, because they're all so just little shy spiders, the asteroid spider resembles nothing more than a giant, lifeless rock in space. Hence its name. So what do I love about this? The fact that it can disguise itself as an asteroid is absolutely cool. Second, that it's
Yes.
big enough to wrap a web around your Spelljammer, also cool. It can disable your ship, so good luck getting away. And if you're a DM who is a fan of ropers like myself, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this monster because um, those spellcasters standing all the way in the back, nope, that spider is gonna grab them, pull them, and take a nice nasty bite out of them.
Speaking of nasty, how beefy is this thing?
Uh, very beefy. This is I should have mentioned this is a gargantuan creature, by the way. So it has a
Yes.
whopping
Yes.
348 hit points on average. Of course, if you like to roll your hit points, it can have much, much more.
And
I
where
think,
does this
yeah,
fall
I
in the
think
challenge rating?
This is challenge rating 15. So this is going to be a really tough challenge
ooh.
for adventurers that are out in wild space.
If you're if your angle on space is space horror, this is this is great. Just the asteroid camouflage alone
So
is
big.
so cool. You know, like everyone fails that passive perception check, and so they don't see, you know, that just like one like leg kind of like shift out of place as it's preparing to attack your ship. Yeah, good pick, very good pick.
Yeah, this is the kind of monster that you would throw at a full crew, like the adventurers plus all the
Hmm.
NPCs that they have hired, and then this is how you just kind of
Hmm.
pick off the some of the NPCs. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
The things
or
we
everyone
learn about
survives and
Michael's
it's
DM brain.
wonderful and
yeah.
it's
Yeah. Or just setting the tone for how dangerous space is. Like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
this is not just we're going to the tavern and a bandit hit us. You're in space now. You're so screwed. Like, this is something that everyone just has to acknowledge they're not going to survive and have to bail. Like, yes, 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 yes. Very into
yeah,
it.
and this is something that you want to throw down like first or second session, just so that for the rest of the campaign, all your characters are just going to be terrified of any floating rock out there.
I love it.
Yes.
So to follow that up, Joe, what have you got for us? What appeals to you from the Monstrous Compendium Volume 1, Spelljammer Creatures?
I mean, based on me being me, it should be no surprise that it's the Clockwork Horror. I, uh, man, look at its beautiful. Look at it. So it jumped this design. But by the way, this art is gorgeous. Like
Mhm.
this jumped out of many robot cartoons of my childhood, and you know, onto the pages of the compendium for me. Like this is a weird thing that's going to go after your mecha. This is like I love giant robot stuff, and I love this guy. So clockwork horrors are these like insectile automations. They're eldritch machines that are encased in precious metals, and they just roam wild space with one um, sort of thing driving them, and that's just to make more clockwork horrors. And what I love about them is you get sort of this angle of like, not only is it a weird robot, but it's a little xenomorphy too. You know, it exists only to replicate. And I love that horde angle of something like this. This to me is like real Annihilation Wave stuff. Like, you know, your space lich, your big bad, has taken control of all the clockwork horrors and unleashed them on the galaxy. Absolutely love this kind of stuff. They have a spell jamming helm interface where they can actually attach themselves to the helm of your ship and take control of it, because all they want to do is pull your ship apart and leave you floating and just like leave you left for dead, which is awesome. So yeah, but then something else I like, you know, you were talking about spellcasters, Michael, with spiders just like making a meal out of them. There is an interesting weakness with a Clockwork Horror, which is a shutdown. If targeted by dispel magic, the horror must succeed on a Constitution savings throw against the caster's spell, or fall unconscious for 1 minute. What I like about this is it puts a lot of pressure on your spellcaster. Oh man, oh, these dispels better go real well, and you better not run out of them before all your friends die. Yeah, look at this thing. I love this guy.
And
Yeah,
I
I
love these are
envision.
Michael.
I definitely envision, because these are small. These are small creatures, so they can get into pretty tight spaces. So I'm envisioning, you know, you have 3 or 4 of these uh, drop onto the deck of the ship. You roll combat. Everyone's fighting these, and then you just are describing that elsewhere on the ship, you're hearing a drilling, and so
Mhm,
your players
mhm,
have to decide, are they going to
mhm,
split the party to try and stop
mhm,
what's happening? They're just going to
mhm.
try and finish things off as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
and just yeah, these
Because then
present a
there's 5,
really fun challenge. Hmm.
and then there's 6, and then there's 12, and then there's 25 of them, and there's 30 of them. Yes.
So we're at the other end of the scale here, where this one, the asteroid spider comes in at a challenge rating 15, and these little guys come in at a challenge rating 2. Um, but I will say, and I cannot wait to meet more of these, or maybe run from them. But my choice kind of falls in the middle, because I was really taken, call back to slightly earlier in this video when I already said this. But look, y'all, the Yggdrasil. First of all, that's one of the coolest names I've ever heard. I believe this is one of the brand new creatures, and whoever came up with it, I would like to shake your hand and then move far away from you because you're scary. But the Yggdrasil, as the name might suggest, is thought to be a cast-off splinter of Yggdrasil, the world tree, which is, of course, from real world Earth Norse mythology and many of the beautiful interpretations of Norse mythology that filter across many of our favorite games and properties and pop culture locations. But this is not a friendly bit of the world tree. This is a bit of the world tree that looks like a gigantic dead tree covered with barnacles and flies through wild space and the astral sea, with their topmost branches leading the way and their withered roots trailing behind them, each with its own gravity plane and air envelope. And they are looking for prey. They attack any settlements or spelljamming ships they come across without provocation. They sometimes can make landfall, disguise themselves as ordinary trees, so that's fun and terrifying, burying their roots in the ground to pull off the deception. They can uproot themselves at any time, and use their roots to shamble awkwardly across the ground, but flying is their preferred mode of travel. And here's the thing, they have an innate hatred of other living things that is very difficult to suppress. So they
Sounds
actually
like me
have
every
little
morning.
pockets. But they have little pockets that you can ride in, but you have to try to convince it not to kill you. Figure out how to communicate with it, try to convince it not to kill you, and then you could potentially hitch a ride with a space plant that wants to kill you to get to your destination. So I love everything about these guys. They come in at a challenge rating 7. They have little,
Mhm.
like as mentioned, cavities in their trunks, false appearances. They've got some cool interactions with lightning that you'll have to learn more about, which you can do right now for free by going to D&D Beyond. But I'm still going to be mysterious about it. And they can attack you with their roots. So they're going to grapple you. It just, y'all, I love these things. These things are so cool. Michael, how would I best terrify my players with them in a game?
Well, I was actually thinking it would be really cute if an asteroid spider used one of these as like a surfboard, because they're about the same size. So hey, why not? You just like you're just cruising on your ship, and all of a sudden you see a giant freaking spider on a tree, just like, "Ooh, I'm gonna kick your ass." I don't know. That's what asteroid spiders sound like.
I
It's been a
can't
long
wait.
day.
I honestly, these monsters are whatever you want them to be when they come to life at your table, which they can. Joe, do you have any
Yep.
final thoughts on the Monstrous Compendium?
Well, I just always loved it when Michael takes a look. So he's like, "Can something surf on it?" Is always kind of one of the first questions he asks, and it's something I really appreciate about him. But what I love about these, like, picture like because Spelljammer is also similar, to a lot of like nautical adventures and stuff like that, where it's like no one has any control. Like it's so dangerous in the open sea or an open space, and that's what I think all three of these monsters actually kind of have in common. Um, is there a threat to that control? Because like one single monster or something, okay, maybe everybody can focus on it, but then like picture your Spelljammer is it finds itself floating through like an astral petrified forest that's like groves of these things and no one can make a sound, and it's just stealth check after stealth check after stealth check after stealth check. No one can talk, no one can move, no one can breathe, no one can sneeze, and you think you're good, and then like just like one branch just happens to uncurl and like scrapes the side of the ship,
Oh,
and then you're doomed, and then you're doomed. Also, just
I
Splinters of the World Tree is probably should be the name of a band.
Yeah. It's like, why are they so angry? The World Tree doesn't hate us as far as we know. Um,
We're
but
Splinters of the World Tree.
a lot more fun possibilities to bring in with these fantastic monsters, all 10 of which are available right now on dndbeyond.com. And that I love that, like, these monsters, the setting, and even the name Monstrous Compendium all have ties to D&D history, but they are also the future. We can't wait to play with these as we all look forward to the full release of Spelljammer on August 16th. So pre-order that now. Don't forget the spring sale, which is running this week, and we will see you back here tomorrow to talk about any other cool surprises that might be coming out of
I,
D&D Direct. Yeah?
I feel like there will be a few. Maybe, I don't know, 2,
Who knows? We'll
3,
see you
8.
then. See you next time on D&D Beyond.